Hi everyone, welcome back to Rise and Radiate with Anjum. Today's guest is someone who wears a different style of hats and also who is an investor and a supporter who supports different ideas, who brings ideas into impact. He is also a traveler who has explored different parts of the world and loves the nature. From boardroom to the mountain trails, he backed a brilliant entrepreneur's idea to capture the beauty of this planet. So today, let's dive into the world of Anuj Sharma. Welcome, Anuj, to the podcast.
Thank you, Anjum, for bringing me here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So to start with, Anuj, I would like to know more about your native place.
So, actually, my story started before I was born. So, I come from a family of crazy people where we primarily look the world in a very different way. And in the today's cynical world, it looks very, very strange why we are doing what we are doing. So, we have a tradition where by the time you turn 25 years of age, you donate whatever you inherit from your family. So my father started from scratch because he had a 36 acres of land, a big palatial house and temple, and he donated everything to start from scratch. So some people felt like he was having resource deprivation. So the definition of resource deprivation in the present time means poverty. He was poor. He felt people felt he was poor. He had resource constraint and other things. But long time later, I realized why he was doing what he was doing. And that's why, like, whatever which I'm trying to do, like, it's kind of a small tribute to talk about going back to the roots. And that is something which we are missing in different parts of the world. Like, as we are talking, we are chasing different kind of successes and other things. And this is the first time in the humanity, we are talking about success in just one parameter, which is the Gandhijis of the world, but not the peace, but the capital, or we are talking the green bucks. But just 100 years and before, like if you go to centuries of things, people were watched because of they were warriors, they were like educationists, they were visionaries, they were scientists, they were musicians, they were artists. And that's also something which we want to bring back. And that's where like the core of this whole philosophy is going back to the roots. And that's what I say is Alsisar Impact. So my Alsisar Impact is going back to the roots, and that's my parents' village, like my forefathers, my grandfather, my father's village. And I want to see that can we find a way to resurrect back that kind of pride, that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of a prosperity that we have kind of left behind in terms of the one-sided success, which is called the money. Money is fungible. It just not exist actually, if you ask me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if I'll have to talk about this Alsisar,
Yeah.
how's the business ethics there? Because I remember last time when we had the dinner together,
Yeah.
so you were like, there are the different way that we teach our kids. So it's not the normal teaching method. So what's that teaching method, and what is that one thing secret?
So, like, look, I work with billionaires. I work for the third richest person of the world at some point of time. And when I look back, they see things differently. They tell something because that is something narrative they are building, but at the same time, they are actually doing something else. So if I talk about it today, like Bill Gates, we are talking about some kind of a crazy thing that he's talking about artificial intelligence, AI and other things. But the same guy is also the owner of the largest agricultural landmass in the world. So while they are talking about that artificial intelligence will be the future of business, but they also know that fresh food will be the future of business. That's why they invest in. But that's how what we are trying to talk about is ethics is something which you develop, which you actually perceive, something which you feel from your heart. Not that something, it can't be preached. It needs to be felt.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, you are an investor who has also invested in so many startups. So as an investor and as a mentor, because you have mentored so many people out there, and so what is that three things that you look forward to in a business before you invest in it?
Yeah. So, like, I can talk about the glorification of investor and other things. So let me go back. Like, who is primarily backing you, like as an entrepreneur? Like, somebody who's going to give me money back is the entrepreneur. So rather than seeing it is a one-dimensional thing that I'm an investor, I want to throw money on the problem and try to see that the problem resolved. Let me see, can I be a partner in you? So you need different kind of resources as an entrepreneur. You may need resources in terms of money. You need resource in terms of skills of different people. You need resource in terms of network, in terms of marketing, in terms of positioning or product development, so on and so forth. So I'm bringing one type of resource, which is, let's say, the resource of money or skill or the network that we are talking about. And in that whole thing, we primarily talk about four specific things, very simple. So if I have to choose an entrepreneur to work with, first of all, they need to be comfortable. That's something very important. And then on that whole basis, we have four specific qualities. One is they need to be local. So it's a very unique thing that we are talking about. Local means if I'm in Kashmir, I will only back a Kashmiri. If I'm in Nagaland, I will only back a Naga person. If I'm in Bihar, I will only back a Bihari person. If I'm in Nepal, I will only back a Nepali person. So that's a very important thing. So I call this as a place-based investing model. Lighthouse place-based. So we say that entrepreneur needs to be a lighthouse, inspiring other fellow community people to shine and think of a possibility which is different than what we are talking about today. So that's one, the local thing. Second is we look into a resilience factor. So resilience is a very simple thing if you ask, but it has been made very complex. So resilience is like when our ECG thing is there, it oscillates up and down. And if it is straight, we call this a death. So I would like to see that somebody has resilience to perform or visualize or take risk in a different way. And the third thing that we are looking is that they need to have some kind of an impact driven mindset for the community they come from. So if I'm talking with somebody I would like to back in Kashmir, if they don't talk about that they would like to have a welfare or the pride of being Kashmiri, I don't think I can work with them. So that's a very important thing, that they need to be community driven. They should be proud of their existence and so on and so forth as well. And fourth thing again is they need to be growth oriented. So if you are having a one small shop and you're comfortable being small and beautiful, you're great, but not good for me.
So, as an investor, have you ever invested or worked with the women entrepreneurs? And also, what strength you think our women entrepreneurs brings on the table?
So we had been super fortunate and lucky to have lots of amazing women entrepreneurs, not just in terms of working, but also the role models that we are talking. And there is a very important reason that we are talking about. Like a lot of people keep talking about like preaching and talking about different things that, hey, look, we would like to back women entrepreneurs, but at the same time, the room doesn't have women entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
And even if they have, they will talk about some excuses and so on and so forth, talking about it. So we would like to just come out of this whole jazzy, or let's say I will say pseudo world, and we say if you are talking about women entrepreneurs, we have a very simple definition of women entrepreneurs. Let me talk about what the larger definition that people are talking about of women entrepreneurs. They say that, and these are the biggest think tanks of the world that they are talking. They say 51% women shareholding is women entrepreneurs, or 30% women leadership, or 30% women workforce, or 30% women beneficiary, or 30% indirect women beneficiaries. Now, if you are talking about an or with so many conditions, then you don't have any intentionality to back women entrepreneurs. Done.
Absolutely.
So for us, if you are talking about women entrepreneurs, that should be owned and led majority by women. Then it is women entrepreneurs. So 80% owned and led is women entrepreneurs for us. Period. That's the only definition we have. And to give you a perspective, we backed Asia's first indigenously owned and led women startup to have raised 2 rounds of capital. And it is a game changer, yes, but I'm also feeling sorry that it is just first so far. But it has started out, and it is not just talking about rhetorics of like why this was there, one entrepreneur and so on and so forth. We are saying let's have the brute force, let's move the needle in terms of backing women entrepreneurs in a very clear manner. And if we see like why we are talking about women entrepreneurs, very straightforward. We are talking about 50% of the world population is women. They are far more smarter than men. I've been trained well as well. At the same time, if you ask, the women had always been better in terms of managing money. So women have always been the custodian of culture. They have always been the custodian of wealth as well. And also, if you say good luck, charm, whatever we talk about, it's all women we are talking about. But why on earth, when we say that the real limelight has to be done, they disappear? Like a very simple thing is that women, we talk about that they have to cook food, so on and so forth. But the moment it becomes a business, then we are talking about chef. And who are the chefs? All male. So that's a pseudo world we are talking, right?
Yes.
So either either accept it
Yeah.
that you don't want to see them as a leaders,
Yeah.
or otherwise don't talk about nonsense which is there so far. So we are saying like, okay, like if you are talking about women should be leader, then let's show it, let's back them.
Yes.
And in that whole thing you need to have a very clear intentionality, the brute force to move the needle to the next level. So we have close to 40 and like percent of my portfolio is women led and owned startups, and really cool people. They are, somebody is indigenous, somebody is normal local, but at the same time they have a voice, they have a kind of a very clear intentionality of changing the narrative of the society at large as well.
And it's very important because it was very surprising. So when I read about there's a globally less than 3% of the funding goes to the women entrepreneurs. So as an investor, how do you think you can help to close this gap?
So first of all, as I'm saying, why it is 3% is because we don't believe. We don't believe that women can actually make things happen. Second, we are fearing as well.
Yeah.
We have a fear. What if the women become a leader? And if they become a leader, they will be better leaders than other men like us. And we have a fear that can we report to them? So it is very important that we find a way to have a equitable participation. So we talk about DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, but we don't follow it. So either you say yes, you believe in it, or say I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
And that's a conundrum we are talking about. We say Earth. Earth is Mother Earth. When is the Father Earth? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And so suppose, like says, if there is a young woman
Yeah.
that walked up to you with maybe a brilliant idea or maybe a confused one, but lacks the confidence.
Yeah.
Maybe she do have some ideas in her mind, but then, you know, she lacks the confidence. What do you advise her and how you're going to deal with that?
So first of all, like we have to also see that are they comfortable in terms of an idea of having a participation from people like us? Like
Yeah.
we could be jerks as well. So first important thing is that they need to understand what the value proposition we can bring on the table. That's very important. Second is we need to have something which is a very important lost art of listening.
Yeah.
Do we have a patience to listen to them, what their dreams are, what their vision is, and also why they want to do that startup, why they are talking about something bigger than what they are doing today. And if we can participate in that dream, that's the first important thing. And when you're talking about somebody who's starting up, somebody who's young, who's fresh and other things, that means they have lots of ideas, they have lots of good dreams, and they also have that kind of energy to change the world. But we all as a society tell them that it is not possible. So can we find a way where we can say, I am possible? That's a starting point. And then the second is like, when we are listening to them, we need to modify the way we can back them rather than we saying, okay, you change for us.
Yes.
And language is a barrier. When we are talking about confidence, what is confidence? If I have to intimidate them, then I'm not talking about ecosystem building. I'm not talking about investing. I'm just talking about a thug business where I'm intimidating you and then saying, hey, look, if you taking my money, then better you give me, otherwise I'll shoot you. Is this the way investing works? No. Investing works when you are talking human-centric approach, where you understand the business and allow the entrepreneur to be creative. It's an artist thing.
Yes.
Entrepreneurs are artists. They are creative people. And if they are talking about co-creating something very beautiful, bigger and formidable, they need a space. So are we giving that kind of safe space for them to perform and be something which is extraordinary who they are?
Yeah. I think as a woman entrepreneur, what I felt is like, you know, there's this credibility thing, there's a pressure, and where a woman entrepreneur have to prove themselves twice. A, as an entrepreneur, B, as a business and woman, or like, you know, women in business, sorry.
Yeah.
So I think that is something, you know, we face certain challenges where we have to show this kind of a credibility. So this is something, yeah, there are a lot of others. So what do you have to say about the people who quit the business, or maybe sometime, you know, they hear the outside noise, not just for the women actually, but even for the men. So the world is there, nobody is cheering up. So I feel like, you know, don't cancel your business plan just because your friends or family doesn't support you. World is there to cheer you up. You know, this is something very
It's a very powerful thing you said. Yes.
Yeah, so you don't cancel it just because somebody outside is saying something and they don't know nothing about it. Okay, so what do you have to say about the people like who have the great ideas but they get influenced about the outside noise?
So first of all, I will talk about, like, we are talking South Asia, we are talking India.
Yeah.
The only thing which is free, which is abundant, is advice. We keep giving some kind of foolish advice. And who are the people who have never invested a single dollar and they talk about investing? we could talk about like Kashmir. We get thousands of people who come here because they feel, okay, we are empowered, we can show our things. And the so-called investors have never invested single dollar, single rupee in this Kashmir.
Yeah.
And they say, we want to change the ecosystem startup world in Kashmir. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's call them up. The same way, when we are talking about, let's say, if somebody is wanting to look around the world in a different way, are we giving them safe spaces to even perform or have some kind of ability to be what they are? Like, world is not similar. Like, my fingers are not similar. I have 5 fingers and all are different.
Yeah.
So the same way, every individual is different. So rather than customizing things, we are saying one size fit all. That doesn't work. We are creative people. We are different people. And if I have to measure success with only one parameter, then we are losing the charm of talking about something like, just imagine if the world was just black and white. It's not too boring. Like, we have different shades of different things. Even when the sky is there, blue sky, you see the reflection. The blue sky also has different colors. So same way, we are talking about when the night comes, the color is different. So that's the beauty of nature. That's the beauty of humans. And humans are super amazingly resilient. We change things, we make things happen as well. And the history has been abundant with respect to these things. But are we giving that kind of a thought around it? Or we are just having one size fit all narratives? Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And also, let's say, so the people who are looking forward to go into the business, or those who are planning to get into the business things, what do you have to advise them? Let's say 5 years later, what are the top 3 things an investor will look into the ideas to invest?
So first of all, stop thinking about investors.
Okay.
You are starting an enterprise, you are starting a venture because you have a dream. Okay.
Absolutely.
Can you surrender your dreams for somebody else?
That's not an entrepreneur.
So एक कहावत है, सबसे बड़ी मौत होती है अपने सपनों का मर जाना.
That's so true.
Never allow your dreams to die because of somebody else.
Yes.
Defend it.
Yeah.
And if you are defending, then only somebody else will stand for you.
Yes.
And even when we are talking about larger thing, like even in terms of women entrepreneurs or other things I'm talking, there's a entity or a sector called microfinance. There are 10 crore microfinance women who are paying an interest rate of 24 to 36% interest rate. But we don't have any intentionality of bringing them out from microfinance, small loans to the SME lending. So they are always, so if you go across the world, the micro entrepreneurs, majority, 80% are women. But the moment it becomes SMEs or scalable, the women disappears.
Yes.
So there's a very systematic bias of eliminating whatever we are talking. Go to the field, agriculture field. Who are the main people who are working? They are women. In the agriculture field, they are working. In the hospitals, they are working. In the houses, they are working. But why can't we think of a leadership which is also somebody who's more formidable, understands it? They're a specialist.
Yeah. But I think I really love this thing, the one that you said, those who have not invested anything and they're just preaching everything, they're just giving their free advice. And like, I really love these lines कि जो पहुंच गए हैं मंजिल पर उनको तो नहीं है नाज़े सफर, जो 2 कदम अभी चले नहीं वो रफ्तार की बातें करते हैं.
Excellent.
So I think I feel like this way कि people don't know कि क्या चल रहा है दुनिया में, and they just want to give the free advice, and it's so rightly put कि for the women entrepreneurs that what you look into it. So I think there's something really nice. And also keeping all this startup things aside, you had really a long experience. What's your best, I can say, an experience so far, and what you have learned from your startups so far?
So first of all, like you are what you are because of the experiences you have in your life.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm fortunate that I had been a traveler. I'm fortunate that I was able to have some kind of amazing mix of different ethnic groups that I was able to meet, the cultures, and also the amazing, I will say, the ecosystem that I was able to witness together. So I worked in different capacities. I worked with billionaires, as I said, worked in 18 countries on ground, officially. Everything was paid for, and I had some kind of a specific cool, whatever the life that we are talking about, the Instagram life. But when you look back, I was also empty. I was also having some kind of a very pseudo life talking about it, which was not very, very, like I will say, real. And that's why when I look back, I felt like, what if I die tomorrow? Like, am I going to be a pseudo person or I need to be real? And I think lots of things that I'm doing is also driven with a fact that if I die, I need to be very honest about myself that am I dying with good intentionality? will people will remember me with good intentions and good, I will say, vision, or they will think that he was a jerk. Okay, fine, he died. It's good for us. So that whole thing revolved back with respect to the things that my experiences also made me understand that you can die anytime. But it is very important that how we die is very important, because when we were born, you can't decide where you were born, how you're born, and so on and so forth as well. But at least I can find a way where there are like-minded people around who actually like you, who love you, and also somebody who resonates with your value systems as well. And value system is not what you're preaching in the books. Values is human to human connect again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
saying. So if you
Yeah.
sit with the five losers, you are the sixth one, and if you sit with the fifth, like five winners, you are the sixth one. So I think company matters a lot, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So apart from Anuj, the business person, okay, how is Anuj in the personal life? So I always feel like कि मतलब एक इंसान जिंदगी में ऐसा होना चाहिए कि अगर वो हालचाल पूछे तो उसे सच बताया जा सके. So who is that one person, and how important friendship is to you?
So if you see, friendship is earned.
Yes.
You have to earn it. It can't come.
Yeah.
And for that, you have to give time. You need to have lots of time. You have to have some kind of patience to have an imperfect person to be friend. अगर एक जैसे हो जाएंगे तो friends नहीं. That person has to be eccentric in their own ways. They should be annoying. They should be different things, because you only remember something which is very unique. Normal चीजें कोई याद नहीं रहता है. So when you look back, if I am talking about Kashmir, it's very important. Like if I am working with somebody, I should enjoy the company of them. So
Yes.
if you ask every single entrepreneur of mine, they are friends first.
Yeah.
And then they are my entrepreneurs. And if we are talking about a kind of a very amazing way of looking at the world, you have to look into a mirror and see whether the reflection is of yours or somebody else is coming in. And that beauty that we are talking about as a life, it is something which is very, very unique if you share with others as well. What's the fun of सब कुछ हमारे पास में रख लीजिए और उसके बाद में बोलते हैं हम तो जमाने को बदलने चले हैं.
Absolutely. I think it is so rightly put कि अपने किरदार पर डाल के पर्दा हर इंसान कह रहा है जमाना खराब है.
बहुत बढ़िया.
So I think this is something really nice. So, and what exactly apart from this, what do you like to do, and who are you in a personal level? What do you love to do apart from the startups, business, investors, entrepreneurs? No, keeping everything aside. Only Anuj Sharma.
So if you ask the past a decade or so, I had been focusing on one very basic thing. I need to be healthy. I need to be happy. And that is something which lots of people feel like, is it even important? I think that's a lifeline. And for that, sometimes I'm a nomad, sometimes I'm a traveler. And majority of time, I travel to a place where people don't know who I am. So there is always an opportunity for me to learn different things. And also getting to the basics, why you exist. And also, as we talk about the Sufi way is like where you say, okay, I'm nobody. But what if I can be somebody in the company of somebody coming in? So that's the way we are talking about. And life is complex, but at the same time, we should know how to enjoy. So एक है कि Instagram में पहले डाला मैंने एक picture, उसके बाद में मैं हंस रहा हूँ. Or I'm actually in real happy. So I need to be comfortable in terms of talking about things which are beyond the social media. Social media just came few decades back. We need to be real. Can I enjoy good food? Can I enjoy good rides around? Can I also enjoy the nature? Can I enjoy the eccentric nature of people as well? And find something which is very beautiful around the world. And why we forget that we have one life and we should enjoy it. Yes.
So I think somewhere people actually forget about enjoying their life. All they care about their, Instagram, how they're looking at the Instagram. And if the other person went to this country, they feel the pressure of, going the same country or other, maybe, to show their side of it. So मुझे लगता है Instagram की दुनिया ने एक अलग ही added pressure डाल दिया है, जो कि मुझे लगता है कि लोगों को नहीं लेना चाहिए. मतलब you take it Instagram as in a free time that you can maybe scroll it for some time, enjoy it, but don't make it your life.
So look,
validation Instagram से नहीं लो.
So look, either you are the owner of Instagram or you are the customer of Instagram. What do you want to be? So entrepreneurs are the owners. So they should be the people who should have the customers, like all of us, like who are using Instagram. So what side you want to be? So Instagram just a tool. It's a tech tool by somebody who's a loner, eccentric, sitting in a corner office in California, doesn't want to talk to anybody, and he says, I want to change the social behavior of somebody. It's jerk. He's a jerk. He's creating a bunker in Hawaii, and he's a first largest landowner under 40 years of age in Hawaii. He's making bunkers. And then you're talking about, okay, I want to be having the Instagram as I'm owning it. I want to change the social of like behaviors and others. But does that person himself understand what the social behaviors? No. Yeah.
It's like the one who created it. I saw one interview. I don't remember कि मैंने वो ठीक देखा था, but उसमें I saw somebody from the Instagram, somebody in the top designation. So that Instagram head said, I will not allow my kids to use the Instagram.
Absolutely. Like if you see Steve Jobs never allowed his kids to use iPhone, iPads, but they know that it is addictive, and that's why they're giving it to you.
Yes.
So we deserve something better.
Yes.
And that's what I tell people. Like either you will be liking my story or you will be the story.
This is so good.
Yeah.
And I really like it. I always say, so पहले ऐसा होता था कि I don't used to put those many photographs कि मतलब trip से आगे तो कोई एक photo जो अच्छी लगी, so I'm gonna post that, right? So then somebody was like, you travel a lot. So I said, and then they're like, I don't watch movies actually. I am not a Netflix person. I don't watch movies at all. Maybe once in a blue moon. That to be somebody have to put a lot of pressure on my shoulder, then only I'll do it. So I said, like, I don't watch people. I don't like to do it. And I like to create stories on my own. कि मैं एक जगह जा रही हूँ, I am enjoying my life, I am creating my own story. मुझे नहीं देखना है कि who else is doing what. There will always be a better person than me. I do get inspiration from people, but I don't copy. I don't want to do what the other person is doing. So I think that's uniqueness in business is like very, very important. You're coming from Bombay and you invest a lot in Himalayas. You travel a lot to Himalayas, and it's quite different than from where you're coming. So tell me more about it, please.
So for us, like if I go back to what I was trying to talk about, we see opportunity where nobody sees it. Like, so a lot of people said like Kashmir is not the geography that you can work. It's a conflict geography. It is difficult geography. And what if your life has its strength and other things? I say parle ji to बिकता है, ठीक है? Toothpaste भी बिकता है, detergent भी बिकता है, ठीक है? So in the business narrative, everything is there. These are the consumers. Can I flip it out by saying Kashmir is a producer geography? It is one of the most beautiful geography. It has one of the biggest brand in the world. But when we talk about entrepreneurship, people disappear. So I would like to resurrect back. I want to say that if I back a Kashmiri, they are one of the most resilient people. They are one of the most intelligent people. So I see things in a slightly different way. So some people see guns. I see opportunity in the same kind. Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice. And also, I want to know your perspective regarding the abroad education. Like a lot of students, they travel to abroad, different parts of the world. So I have been counseling the students for over 13 years now. When I was a kid myself, I can say. So I am been counseling the students. So I know what difficulties do they face. So what do you have to say about this culture where I can see a lot of students are now moving abroad for their studies?
So first is like education is one of the important thing in life of anybody. And traveling, if you combine, then becomes lethal. It's super cool. And the comfort zone is my house. If I'm able to educate or study somewhere which is not my comfort zone, that adds to the experience that I have. And that's something which you are bringing, which is very powerful, which is very beautiful. And that is something which anybody who can afford should do it as well. And at the same time, when you look around, the curriculums as we have here is still not evolved in the way the global ecosystem is evolved. So if you have to kind of match the global ecosystem, the kind of knowledge sharing and other things which are there, we need to have some adaptability, the changes, and also the swiftness of how a experiential learning can come. And that has been adapted well by people from outside. Then here, the education universities, the university you're talking about, they invested a lot on research and development and other things as well. So it's a great thing. And as a student, if you can afford it, you should definitely try for that. Why not? I cannot say that farmer needs to do regenerative agriculture. They need to save the world. They need to save the water. But I don't want to give them money. The same way, I cannot tell my kids that, okay, don't go to abroad. But very few people who are billionaires send their kids to abroad. by sponsoring the hall or the building and then get a free admission of their kids. Why not? Every kid has the right to educate in the way they should have. And thanks for bringing that out. Very, very important. And that kind of a education, which is more global, helps us to be a better human being, to be able to kind of find a way where we could be having a better career options, at the same time better humans as well.
Yeah, and I think when you go out and when you study abroad, it's not only about getting a degree. It's a lot of things that you learn. Like you learn to be on your own in lot of ways. If it's not about the study. So self dependency is not just. I don't think self dependency is something which you say ki money or financially independence. This is something where ki nobody is there to hold you, and you still have to take stand for yourself, and you have to take care of yourself. So I think there's a lot of things that student learns, not just a degree, but from the real world, how to actually work on their skills and be, I think, skill focused.
Absolutely. And one of the important things that you are also bringing to the table is, if I am a student coming from, let's say, Kashmir, from a small town, let's say in Doda or Pahalgam or Anantnag, or let's say in Ladakh or other places, if you're able to have education which is primarily more equitable, then you can bring businesses which is not just centered in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore. Entrepreneurship is not the fiefdom of just a couple of cities. It could be anywhere. So that's an indomitable spirit that you can bring in. And that's where the equitableness will come, when you have the education of the same power as well. And thanks for bringing that whole thing to the forefront. Yes.
Thank you so much. I think it's a lovely conversation with you. And also, apart from this, now let's get into some kind of a shairi as well. So, is there anything? Do you want to end up with any of your favorite lines that you resonate with?
So, like I when I was growing up, I used to be in love with Urdu.
Okay.
And in the cynical world we are in today, I forgot, because I was doing lots of different things, coming and so forth. So I'm not somebody who can talk about too much, but if I remember a few lines, I will try. So there is a Bulle Shah ji, a very important thing, where he was a fakir, he was a Sufi, and he used to say that Ukte Shuraj dalte dekhe, balde dive jalte dekhe, जिन्ना दा मोल न जाने कोई, वो भी पुत्र बलदे देखे. I don't know how, because that's the thing.
That's really nice. And I think I also want to just end it with a few of my favorite lines here. As an entrepreneur, of course. So, लग चुकी है तलब, खुद को आग में झोंक देंगे. ठोकरें कहती हैं मारे जाएंगे, हौसले कहते हैं देख लेंगे. Thank you. So I think that's the end. Thank you very much, Anuj, for joining me today. And thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching Rise and Radiate. Thank you.